Well, welcome to Just Jim Radio Show. First one of many. And at this point, I wanted to kind of just thank you all for being here and being a part of who we are. We are here to offer inspiration, information, a little bit of fun, and help you have a better life, a better day, an opportunity to experience yourself in a more full and satisfying way in your life, make a difference in your relationships, your work, well, just about everything that's going on. And so we're really grateful to have this opportunity be with you and to share who we are. We'll be doing that in various ways as we make our way through our shows. Today we have a guest with us that is here as an expert on this show. In fact, the individual that could best give you a good description of what this show is all about and what it's going to be doing in your life and for this station. Today we have Just Jim. Now, Just Jim has devoted over 35 years as a medium, a teacher, a healer, a counselor, an inspirational speaker, a writer. He's been working with people in the exploration and discovery of their own spiritual truth, purpose, and pathway in life. His personal and spiritual purpose is to be of service, to support people in finding their connection and relationship to God, to spirit, to their higher purpose, to inspiration. Today, we're here to interview Just Jim. Welcome. Thank you for being here, Just Jim, and thank you for being a part of the show today. Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. I've been waiting for a long time to ask myself these questions, and so I enjoy very much being able to be here and share who I am. Well, tell me, what's the purpose of this show? Why are you doing it? Well, the name of the show speaks for itself, does it not? Just Jim? Oh, it won't just be about me, of course. It'll be about a number of other topics and ideas that make a difference in people's lives. It's meant to bring an experience to the listener, yes, that's you, that makes a difference in your life, right here, right now. Right in the middle of everything that's going on. You have the activities of your days and you're trying to figure out the best way to deal with it. You're trying to figure out how to make it a little bit better, how to have more fulfillment or satisfaction, freedom, peace, joy, love, beauty in your life. The purpose of the show is to offer information and inspiration. It, of course, should be interesting and fun. And yet, it'll also be very practical, sometimes spiritual, a little philosophical, thought-provoking, and as often as possible, powerfully life-changing. In simple ways, and in ways that have you at times experience yourself differently than you have before. Inside and out, there's an experience of your life around you, and there's an experience of a life, what's going on within you. And so the idea is that we bring to you different shows that will have you see, look, experience, explore, discover doorways, windows that allow you to see yourself differently, to choose differently, to let go, to open, to express and experience and manifest as much as you possibly want to in your life. Don't let this title mislead you. Like I said before, the show is not just about me. In fact, it's about connection. It's about community. It's about collaboration. It's about coming together and making a difference. So as we offer what we do through the show, those of us who will join us and Just Jim, we will be coming together in such a way where two or more are joined. In that, it's about the I am that we are, that spirit within us that's wanting to express itself, living our lives fully with passion, with purpose, and fulfillment for ourselves and being of service to others. Doing that by being just you. Thus, the title of the show, Just Jim. Wow, that's a lot to be offering through a radio show, Jim. Yes, I understand, but it's not what I do, it's who I am. It's the way that I live. Each and every day I've created a life that allows for me to be able to not only live this way, but to share it with others. And this is another opportunity and avenue for my own personal expression, but really to fulfill my soul's purpose, why I'm here, to make a difference. And I have always been told and listened very carefully, the teacher is always teaching what they need to hear. So I'm absolutely certain that I'm going to be as much a listener as one who's offering information or being part of the show. Wow. Well, how do you think that's going to show up? What do you think the format of the show is going to look like? Are you going to interview yourself every week? Well, Jim, that's an interesting question. I know that I would enjoy that, but I'm not sure everybody else would want to follow along with me talking to myself all the time. They might question a little bit about what's going on. Well, there'll be interviews, absolutely. I'll be bringing people in to talk to and ask questions and share their experience, their strength, their hope, their knowledge, their expertise. I've got Bill Collar, international medium, coming up. I've got Joe Mui and Patricia Cockrell coming up. I've got Jerry Gregg coming up. These are all individuals that have had a profound effect in this community in so many different ways, and with Bill all over the world, and they'll be sharing lots of ideas and thoughts that'll be interesting to listen to and participate with. There'll be shows that'll be discussing varying topics with an expert in that field. There could be shows where 2 or more people are involved, so it'll look like a dialogue back and forth rather than an interview, or maybe a couple of people and there'll be 3 people talking about the same ideas. There'll be question and answer shows. You, the listener, will have an opportunity to submit questions through social media and through email. And then we'll be able to use those questions to be able to answer them so everybody can hear what they are. We're even considering doing group shows. Group shows? What do you mean by that, Jim? Well, what I mean is there would be a number of people in a group. They'd be together like in a classroom kind of a situation. I'd be presenting some information. There would be interactive feedback and discussion. It would be as if you've dropped in on a class that's going on a certain topic, and not only hearing what I might be or somebody else might be sharing, but how the students or the people who are listening have feedback or questions, and the dynamic that unfolds naturally that way. Well, with all that being said, I guess you'll have to tune in to see what the format's going to be, since it's going to be changing so very often. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Well, what led you to decide to do a radio show? Well, that's an interesting story, Jim. Thank you for asking about it. You see, in my philosophy, in my way of thinking and living in the world, it's about living my purpose and my passion in such a way that I ask the universe for opportunities to be able to express myself differently in the world. I didn't have an idea in my mind of how that would look or how that would show up. And I believe that when you ask, when you look within and you sincerely find within yourself what you're truly wanting to express or experience, to create or manifest, when you ask, you receive. And when the universe hears you, they respond back. And I was on my way to a holistic Chamber of Commerce meeting. It was an early morning breakfast meeting. Now, I don't mind being up early when I've got my solitude to myself and I'm taking it easy, but this was off to a meeting so I could learn more about this and that, about how I could better be a part of the holistic chamber, or how I could better promote myself, or how I could better get the word out about who I am and what I do. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to learn. So I went and I learned a great deal. The morning was wonderful. It stretched out even longer than they expected. And after the meeting, I was talking to a lady who seemed to know what she was doing. And I asked her if she had any secrets that she could share about me promoting myself. She said, "No, I'm not going to share my secrets with you." We both laughed and thought that was, well, kind of obvious. You're asking for trade secrets from someone who's been doing this for a very long time. They're in business too, are they not? And so I ended up in Katie's office, the program director of Society Bites Radio. And we started talking about how to promote yourself and how to get the word out and what it would be like if I was to have a radio show with them. The next thing you know, I'm doing a radio show. So that's how the radio show came about. It was a synchronistic event that Spirit, the universe, source, provided, not because I knew it, or not because I could figure it out, or not because I planned it, but I showed up where I felt like I was being drawn to. I asked for the opportunity, and there it was. And here I am. Here I am with you doing the first show on the Just Jim radio show. Isn't that amazing? It is amazing. It's wonderful how life can work that way. I've had those kind of situations happen to me too. I don't see them quite the way as you do. Well, I guess I do, because I'm Just Jim also, aren't I? Yes, you are, Just Jim, and I appreciate you being here supporting me. Well, you're the minister and pastor of Sarasota Center of Light. Yes, I am. Well, will this be a spiritual show? Well, that's a good question. That's a good question, Jim. Yes, it will be a spiritual show. What does that mean when I say that? It means that I would like to see everybody possible be able to get in touch with what really makes a difference for them. And so when we look at terms that are used in various spiritual philosophies and religions, you'll sometimes hear from a metaphysical point of view, practical spirituality. What does that look like? That looks like being practical in the world and at the same time bringing inspiration into it. I'd like to shift that a little bit in this particular show. I'd like to call it spiritual practicality. Well, wait a minute, Jim, isn't that just a twist on words? I said, not exactly, because if it's practical spirituality, then you're putting the practical first, and you're trying to bring inspiration into it. If it's spiritual practicality, then you're finding and being your inspiration. The topics or ideas we might share, the things that are asked and answered, the group discussions, the questions and answers are all meant to invoke a new view of how you can be inspired as a listener to find a new angle or answer, to rise above something or release and resolve something so that you can open up to be more of who you are. And so on that level, it will be more of an inspirational show. For those who are more spiritual, it will help guide them to a deeper inner knowing of themselves, of people who are looking for answers in their lives and are looking for inspiration to make a difference. It will help uplift them. It will help awaken them in such a way to see life a little bit different. I believe that anything that you bring to anyone that you want to offer, that you say will help them in some way, if they can't take that and they can't take it directly into their lives and apply it directly to their friendships, to their family, to their work, to everything in their life in a very practical way, then it doesn't have very much use except for being an idea that's inspirational. For me, it's about spiritual practicality, getting in there and making a difference. Well, what about Sarasota Center of Light? You're the pastor there. How does the center make a difference for people in their lives? Wow, Jim, that's a big question to answer. That might be another complete show, but let me talk about that for a moment or two. At Sarasota Center of Light, we're a metaphysical church. We're a place where you're able to go to discover your own path, your own truth, your own way in the world. Metaphysical means above the physical, so we are talking about being practical in